I want to talk to you about this little guy. That's me as a baby. You're cheering an infant, come on. This little guy, he didn't know much, but he knew what he didn't know. He knew he was going to have to learn a lot from other people. And he grew into one of these little guys. That's me on the left and my brother on the right. These guys really knew how to play. And let me tell you, when things went really well, one of us would say, this is what I want to do. And the other one would say, yes, and I will add to that. And we built whole worlds together. And the only time it went wrong was one of the kids in school said, I want to play Star Wars. And somebody else said, no, you're not doing it right. And it was a train wreck, just like that. Fast forward a few years, I'm doing stand-up comedy at a friend of mine's open mic night. And there are 6 of us. We have 3 hours and nowhere near enough material. And the guy tells us, hey, let's do some improv games to fill some time. 2 of us got up there, we didn't know what we were doing, and we stunk up the place. So I took some improv classes. I got hooked and took a lot more improv classes. And I started learning a whole bunch of things about improv. And you might be thinking, hey, this is pretty cool, because you learn some skills. You learn some real weird skills. But first, what is improv? The and disappeared for some reason. But yes and is what improv is about. You say yes. Someone makes a big offer on stage. You say yes to it. And you say, and I'm going to add this to it. And then you can build whole scenes together. Now, every one of these classes I took had some sort of an evaluation at the end. And they also said, hey, man, have you, found any sort of, found yourself and improved your, life and career and things like. And I was like, dude, I am just screwing around here. You will actually learn a few things. But first of all, nobody likes improv. Nobody wants to see you perform. Your improv proof probably sucks. You're going to perform in a weird part of the town, and your theater will probably go out of business. If you think you can make money at improv, these are the only 4 people in the history of creation that have ever made money at improv. But if you take improv class, and that guy's a stand-up comic, I'm sorry, and he takes some stand-up classes, you will make some unusual skills, like this. And if you do that at an AGU talk, you will have their attention. So let's talk about work a little bit. The department chair in atmospheric and oceanic science comes down the hallway and says, we need somebody who can start a new undergraduate program. I didn't need the money, didn't know what I was doing, had no clue. I was screwed. He handed me a draft plan. I said, yes, okay, I like this. It was cribbed from geology. I went over to geology, said, yes, and I like your ideas. Let's put it together. I recruited the first 50 students, and I won Advisor of the Year in the first year I was eligible. I'm telling you, I was just screwing around, taking those classes. So we built that program. And after a couple of years, I got sick of academics, and I left. I went to NASA headquarters to work for that guy. And I started getting bigger and bigger assignments. And I got promoted at Booz Allen. And eventually they put me in charge of satellite needs. This is where NASA goes out and says, what are your needs to the other civilian agencies that use satellite needs? And so I went and took a draft plan and said, hey, what do we got? And got input from a lot of input from NASA headquarters. And we won one of these. I was just screwing around, I'm telling you. And then one day a little birdie whispered in my ear and said, hey, you know what, Jeff? There's an opening at DOE. And if you apply, so I did, and I got an interview, and I was poised, and I had the ability to roll with the punches and take an interview and work with it and work with the questions they were asking me, even though I didn't know what they were going to say next. And now I'm the head of the Atmospheric System Research Program at DOE. And I'm telling you, all this time was just screwing around. I made big, bold offers to the community. And I said, this is our plan. And then I get a lot of feedback back, because scientists like feedback. So please, remember the skills you had when you were these guys. Own what you don't know. Say yes, and take the inputs from others. And I hope that you'll end up like this little guy. You'll fall into your dream job, and you will have your own beautiful sunset. Thank you.